So your animal energy for February is starfish, which is really interesting. So starfish, first of all, I did see this person like on a stage, and we have a star here, so that's interesting. And then being given a position from someone who's able to do so and from a place of authority, right? Like bestowing you with something. Starfish is the lover's energy, which is Gemini, right? So that speaks about not just choices in love, but an inner and outer harmony or duality. But also there's an aspect to the lovers where you can see something from both, just like Geminis can, right? Can see something from both sides and equally as well. So they can see two people's sides to an argument and then be the mediator, or they can be really skilled if they choose to do it, if they're aligned. Geminis are very, very good at being able to put themselves in another person's shoes. Now, sometimes that can be a creative life force genius power, because if, for example, you're a writer or an actor, or even someone in the healthcare industry, and you're able to put yourself into someone else's shoes, my God, the stories you can tell by really effectively doing that, or the help that you can give people by really understanding where they're coming from. It's about not as much emphasis about saying what you need to say and having them hear it, but being able to communicate from a place that they're coming from, as opposed to where you're coming from, and being able to bring those two together in order to form harmony and efficient, kind communication. Starfish medicine is also very much about how things appear. So the shadow aspect of this can be a bit shallow, right? With just a heavy emphasis on appearance. But I feel like there's something about looking beneath the surface or something, or looking beyond how something presents and cutting to the core of it. When I think, what's coming to mind? Interesting. I mean, I'm not political on here, okay, but this is coming to mind. President Barack Obama's speech his inauguration speech when he took office is coming to my mind right now, because I'm seeing that speaker on the platform. And I feel like part of the reason that his speech reached so many people and is so memorable to me was because he went about it in a way where I felt like he was talking to me in a way that was not just approachable, but at my level, not speaking to me from this podium where I'm down here and he's talking to the little people, but really on the level of me and my community, because at that time, right, I was the age that I was coming into a place where, I was starting a new chapter of my life. And so it was very influential to me as a young person when he took office to be spoken to like I really had a hand in the change that he was talking about. And I feel like that's coming through for you in terms of people feeling like you have the ability this month and really going forward to really reach people in a way from where they're at. And there being a lot of power in that. I think that's really wonderful. Okay, let's go ahead and see what's going on. What's going on? Capricorn for February. Oh! Fell in my lap. 5 of Cups, let's talk about this. This is all about perspective. Are you focusing on the capybara who is, not doing so well on the riverbank? Or are you focused on the capybara that is swimming away from the scene of the crime? It's all about where you place your focus, okay? Your perspective can be rich or it can be poor, really depending on what you're focused on, right? It's like where your energy flows, where your focus goes, something like that. I think I just butchered that saying, but this is really about, are you focusing on the full cups or the empty ones? And your experience doesn't have to depend on how things are in your external given circumstances. Because if your perspective is on point and you're focused on what is working and what you do have to be grateful for, it's always good, right? It's just about a fine-tuning point of perspective. And we were talking about seeing something from both sides of something, Gemini energy, reaching someone where they are. And again, like having that ability to communicate in a highly effective and endearing way. And also being in a position where people are looking to you for your influence and opinion and your outlook. You could be in a position where you're supporting other people, or other people are kind of looking to you as an example, or being in the spotlight, or speaking in a way where other people are on the receiving end of that message. I feel like there's a responsibility inherent in that. And perhaps part of the message that you are feeling this month, or that you find yourself saying a lot, or that the people around you need to hear, is about perspective, right? There's a lot of flux happening this month. Mercury is in retrograde, Venus is in retrograde. Both will affect our communication styles. And I feel like your money around this, your ticket around this, is to really put yourself in someone else's shoes. And in doing so, a lot of positive movement and healing coming from that. 10 of Pentacles. So this is really, really brilliant. This is one of my favorites. So 10 of Pentacles speaks of, it's a happy home and family that is married to financial abundance, right? So it's the 10 of Cups plus, in my opinion, but it also has to do with family, ancestry, inheritance, long-term planning and thinking, right? It's, what's that saying that, I feel like I'm going to butcher this as well, but there's a saying that goes like, good men plant trees, under whose shade they know they will never sit, or some, they plant trees for the generations to come, not for themselves. And there's something about that humanitarian aspect of this that's coming through for you guys with the 10 of Pentacles. The rabbit's here as well. Like, it's interesting because rabbit medicine has a shadow and a light energy, right? So the shadow side of rabbit energy is just fear and it's self-fulfilling prophecy. The light energy of rabbit is high fertility and abundance. I feel like the choice is up to you this month. And I feel like there are going to be a lot of choices that come to you this month about opportunities. I feel like people are going to, inform you around, certain things that you can say, yes, I think that I could, help out with that or make that a bit better. Or yes, I want to join in with that. Or no, I don't think that's for me. Or no, I don't think I could contribute to that. Right? But everything, again, the core of it feels like your communication. And then you have Gemini energy here with Starfish, which is the most communicative sign. Out of all of the zodiac, the most communicative is Gemini. They are just like the chatty Cathys like of the zodiac. So it's interesting. Remember, a diagnostic assessment of your communication skills. So what you say and how you say it is going to have long-term effects. There's going to be aspects that are triggering the collective this month in terms of emotional surge directly related to the unknown. There's going to be a collective surge around when are things going to be different? When are things going to be settled? When will this be over? When will this begin? When are we going to get back to normal? All of these things are going to be going on during this Mercury in retrograde and Venus in retrograde this month. I'm hearing for you to kind of focus on the bigger picture and the long term. Stay grounded, stay focused on what you had to be grateful for and whatever your support unit is, and finding a lot of good. And really I'm hearing even gold in that, because I'm really hearing what you say and how you say it is going to just be so incredibly important this month. You're going to have people that are under your influence or are really influenced by you, right? That are going to be listening very intently to what you say and believe what you say. So whether you're a writer who's working on something where you want to think about what you're communicating and how that's going to affect the whole, and then mirroring that with your artistry to say something that's both true and beautiful and artistic and, helpful, whatever that is, or whether it's just, you within your particular group or family being in a position to communicate things where people are really leaning in and listening and turning to you for advice or counsel or truth or solutions, right? All right. I'm hearing you're the grounded one. You have the ability this month to do a lot of good with your position and your words. And here we go. 7 of Swords. Okay, let's talk about this. So 7 of Swords has a lot to do with self-sabotage. It's that thief in the middle of the day key. This is that aspect of, am I acting within my highest and best integrity at all times? Now, what's interesting about this is the meditation where it was a diagnostic assessment of your communication skills. And then we have the Swords key that is all about, deception or self-sabotage or inner negative self-talk, that, has to do with things that kind of are overtly obvious in a way, because it is in the light of day, which makes it a bit different than the 5 of Swords, which is like action against you. But 7 of Swords is like, how are you hurting or helping yourself? But I'm hearing for you specifically, what are the stories that you've been told or that you've told yourself that you can bring out into the light of day and unmask or expose, right? So if you were told that your type is ABC, can you really look at that and go, do I believe that that's what my type is? Am I all the things that I've been told about myself? Well, growing up, I was told that, ABC about myself. Is that really true? What story am I perpetuating within and for myself? There's also an aspect of honesty and honest communication that's coming up here as well. You're really being called, and it's really, really strong around this, to really dig deep within your words and your word choice and who you surround yourself with, and really seek and insist on the truth. Because I'm going back to this starfish energy, because remember, the starfish medicine is about how things appear versus how they actually are. And so there's a focus here with the Seven of Swords. How do things appear versus how they actually are? Seven of Swords can also equate to an emphasis on your physical body, what you look like, how you treat your physical body, which is also related to starfish medicine as well. So you could be focused on some changes or some truths with and for yourself this month that have your health in mind or your physical aesthetic in mind as it relates to a mind-body-spirit balance. Let's get some clarifiers. Five of Cups, talk to me. Oh, I like it. Wait a minute. Oh, weird. On the bottom of the deck is Ten of Pentacles again. It's just another way to see this with the bunnies. It's, remember, family, ancestry, inheritance, finances, long-term thinking. Interesting. Okay. So to clarify the Five of Cups, I'm so here for it. It's the Magician, which is so on point. The Magician is thought plus desire manifested, right? So the Magician knows that all the power that he needs is within him, and it's just about using the tools at his disposal, right? Which is interesting, so I'm going back to the Sword here with the communication. But this is very much whatever you have in mind to be your reality, that's what it is. And then we're talking about perspective and where your focus is. So this says you are creating your own reality through the power of your own perspective this month. I feel like that's also going to be something you're going to be saying to other people. Okay. Ten of Pentacles. Your viewpoint feels priceless this month. It feels priceless. Oh, my Lord, oh Lord. So we have the Five of Cups here, again, in a different deck, to clarify the Ten of Pentacles. So again, this is perspective. I'm kind of going back to those stories that you were told either by family or teachers or said to yourself or past loves, whatever that is, about who you are, what you're about, where you're going, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. I really feel like you're being called to kind of bring everything up from underneath the water and really inspect them and kind of check your perspective around, like, let me just do a complete reassessment of what is true for me. What do I believe in? Where do I want to go? How do I communicate in the best way that I can? When I speak, do other people receive what I'm trying to say? Or is there room for improvement around that? When I communicate, do I do so in the highest and most effective way that I am able? Right? Because there's something about you guys having all of the best intentions and thinking about all of the right things. But there is this call for room of improvement around looking at, the perspective and viewpoints that you also inherited that may not be in alignment with who you truly are now and who you want to be. This could definitely have to do with your family or things that are from the past. This could be even people that you were with before that, said things to you and you really internalized them and began to believe them, right? But I feel like you're being asked for the long term to step into a new cycle and really embrace what is true and feels good for you from a place of, inner clarity as well, which is really nice. Remember when I said the collective is going to be feeling a lot of emotional surge and around this and focusing on, I get this again with this, where we're talking about perspective, because I'm really drawn to the full moon here and the shadow side being fertility or fear. And then we have perspective here. The more that you can focus on your eye on the prize and where you're going and where you want to be and those who you want with you on the come up and on the way, the better. But it's about finding a sort of solace and a happiness through your perspective and choosing to not just embrace the unknown, but to trust. Not just that whatever will be, but that everything is as it's meant to be. And all you have to do in the meantime, right, is the best that you can. Right? It sounds simple. It's not always that easy. I'm aware of that, but all right. right, Seven of Swords. This is really the reading of repeats. So we had the Lovers here to clarify the Seven of Swords, which remember we said the Lovers was the starfish energy. So this is repeating back to this, right? Which is about choices in love and being able to see something from a dual perspective. So with these Seven of Swords here and the Lovers here, I'm really getting an aspect of, because this is about inner and outer harmony and duality as well. And then Seven of Swords is very much being outside of an inner and outer harmony and duality. You have a potential within you to supersede where you've ever been before. I feel like this is personal. I feel like it's growth related. I feel like it's professional. I feel like it's familial. I feel like it's all of the things that encompass a life well lived, whatever that is for you. You have an ability to go so far and above where you've been before in terms of your success and your inner wellness and your outer experience and all of that good stuff, right? That exists on the other side of your self-sabotage, your self-perceived limitations, or your ideas around what you're capable of, whether those were learned, inherited, or self-taught. Those are going to be brought to your attention this month. And you're being asked, do you want to take a look at those and look at how you communicate with yourself, others, the stories that you tell yourself, the stories that have been told to you? Do you want to look at all of this, right? So that you can go stand up on this platform that I saw in my meditation, right? And be in a position of influence and be in a place to, from the benefit of your own experience, right? Serve others, share your light, live your artistry, embody your truth, right? Very good. All right, let's go ahead and get you guys an oracle. It kind of feels like you have an opportunity to go to boot camp so that you can really be in a position of, limelight, authority, power that you haven't been before. What am I seeing? Because it's like back to Obama, the president. So before someone is, goes on the ballot to be president or really in any public office in the States, they go through a vetting process where they're vetted and all the skeletons are looked for in all of the closets, and they're prepped for everything that's going to come up that could be used against them by the opposition. I feel like you're being vetted energetically by the universe, by yourself, maybe actually vetted, so that anything that is holding you back or could come around to work against you or not with you in the future is brought to your attention so that you can see to it before that happens. You're being vetted so that you can upgrade. Okay. Oracle. I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I probably could, oh my God, I can't. I probably could have at the very beginning of this reading, although it comes at the end, but I probably could have just said at the beginning of this reading, like, you're being vetted so that you can upgrade into like a completely new, bigger, more successful, like abundant position. See you next month. But that's kind of the core of it, is you're being vetted for an upgrade. The word Lord. I guess is so on point. Does that not say communication? Did we not talk about a diagnostic assessment of your communication skills? Communication prays dishonesty. Back to the Seven of Swords. What is the truth? How do you speak to yourself? What communication styles did you inherit? What are some new ones you would like to enact? How can you reach people where they are? And what in the realm of your highest and best, point of focus can be remedied through altering your perception, your perspective, and your communication style. There are aspects of yourself, there are aspects of even those around you that are going to be called to your attention. Now, this can speak of the power of positive words and then also the destruction of negative words, how words can destroy. Words can destroy. See how this guy's writing? We're talking about writers as well. Words can absolutely destroy. True words can destroy for the highest and best good. False words can destroy and really ruin, not to be overly dramatic, but ruin lives. Like, think about kingdoms that have fallen over words and lies and mistruths. And Shakespeare would have never written a play if it weren't for all the mistruths. Think about the power, like the written power of words, the power of communication, the power of the written word, right? That's really coming up for you. So it's about the responsibility of what you say and understanding the impact it can have on others, but also the power of what you say and the mountains it can move for the better, right? So there's really about a lot of positive praise coming to you, and then also really looking at the more aspects of yourself that aren't necessarily yours or aren't exactly rooted in the truth for whatever reason, by whatever means. I'm getting a funny, so if you were to write your obituary, what would it say? What would you want it to say? It's a little morose, but I'm getting that. If you were to write your obituary, just as an exercise, just as like a food for thought, what would you want it to say? And then do a check-in around that and see where you are and how many steps it would take to get you to that point where you feel like your obituary was, up to date, current.